Hi, welcome back, and this is a full review of the 360 S6 Robot Vacuum. 360 is one brand in a growing list trying to catch up with Roborock, especially the popular S5 Max. So is this robot vacuum better? To find out, I put it through a series of tests on different aspects like navigation, cleaning performance, and there were some surprises, so stick around to find out. First, I'll go through the features. The 360 S6 uses a laser distance sensor or LiDAR for navigation. There are two color options available on Amazon, white and black. Currently, the white version is cheaper and a better deal in my opinion. It has a minimalist interface with only two buttons, dock and power. And since most of the functionality will be accessible through the app, you won't use the buttons as much. The dustbin sits in the middle and pops out when you press this button. It's a unique design from what I've seen with other brands with the opening on top. This feature makes it easy to dispose of dirt because of the wide open space. It has a 3-layer filtration that includes a thin mesh, foam, and HEPA that is washable. Dirt capacity is limited at only 0.4 liters, so you'll have to empty it often. Underneath, it has two side brushes and a combo brush similar to Roborock. However, the main brush is fixed, meaning it doesn't have any up or downward play, a feature found in popular brands like Roomba and Roborock, which I think is a must-have for a robot to be effective at cleaning various surfaces. Another brand with a fixed brush system is the Viomi V3, and it was terrible on carpet. Surprisingly, the 360 S6 isn't bad and did quite well at cleaning surface and embedded dirt on carpet, which I'll expound later on. Two side brushes sound good on paper, but from what I've seen, it tends to scatter debris even if it spins at a slower rate than a Roomba 675. The 360 S6 is a substantial robot, measuring around 13.7 inches wide and 3.85 inches tall if you add the laser sensor cover. While the body fit under the shoe rack, the laser cover did not, and that didn't stop the robot. It still forced its way under. Had I not lifted the rack, it won't get out. So measure the clearance of your furniture. If it's between 3.6 and 3.9 inches, it would be better to use the no-go zone to block the robot from it or risk damaging the LiDAR sensor. The 360 S6 navigates like the Roborock with the laser sensor, starting its run cleaning the edges before moving towards the middle. However, the similarity ends here. Users won't have the option to select how many times it goes around. It only does it once. This is an issue for me because one pass isn't enough. Roombas can get away with a one-pass run because it has dirt detect, while other brands don't and rely on multiple passes for thoroughness. This feature is only available in the area tab of the app with a max of 2 passes. Coverage was good even with a single pass run, able to pick up most of the quicker oats I scattered around the room. There was only a minimum amount left in these areas, and the robot picked it up in a subsequent run, so coverage is adequate. It was quite adept at traversing even in narrow spaces. During this test, it didn't get stuck on the wires or a maze of chair legs. But you will still have to remove any wire that will get in the way because it will tangle with the side brush. It won't scuff furniture because it slows down, only nudging objects, not ramming at full speed. Climbability is another strong point. I tested it on both 0.5 and 0.8 inch rugs, and it didn't have any issues going over them. However, I would remove light area rugs because it will push these around. Airflow was underwhelming. It barely moved the anemometer at the lowest setting, and the max was just 7.91 CFM, lower than the Roomba 675 or 690. Despite the lack of airflow, it was decent in the cleaning tests, but the twin side brush design scattered more debris than usual, and the lack of passes hurt its performance. The lowest power setting or quiet mode is not usable for vacuuming and left a lot of dirt in this area under the dust container. That leaves the middle and max setting for vacuuming, with the quiet mode reserved for mopping floors. The middle setting is a little better for light debris like dust, but not so good for stuff like pet hair and sand. The max setting is ideal for all types of debris, but pickup wasn't as clean as robot vacuums with high airflow. It struggles most with sand on hard surfaces. The side brush scatters it, and it left visible trails. I tested it on embedded dirt by rubbing 100 grams of sand on mid-pile carpet. Even with its one-pass run, it picked up an average of 62.15%, a decent score for a robot vacuum in this price range. I did a second pass, and it picked up 78.5%. With the third pass, it went up to 88.9%, which is Roomba territory. I have no idea how the 360 achieved this high score with a fixed brush roll and low airflow. Maybe the brush sits at a lower position than usual, giving it better agitation. The issue again is the inability to control the number of passes in the app. You'll have to schedule 2 or 3 consecutive runs to achieve the same result. I think the manufacturer should consider adding this feature in future app rollouts to really compete with the likes of Roomba and Roborock. Edge cleaning is decent but not great. The 360 S6 picked up a good chunk of debris scattered in this area, but this much was left. I did a second run to check how much more it could pick up, but it wasn't much. This robot also struggles with hair. I tested it on 1 gram of 5 and 7 inch human hair strands, and in both tests, most of it wrapped on the brush. One reason I think it did poorly is the low airflow. In addition to vacuuming floors, the 360 S6 also has a mopping feature. It comes with an 80 ml gravity tank and a microfiber pad. I tried it on red wine stains I left overnight. The S6 removed the stains after 1 run, but it left visible tire marks. If you have black tile, it may not be the best option. I did a second run and there was still visible residue, but it's better than the S6 Pure because it wasn't as sticky. One downside is how you attach the pad. Unlike in Roborock where it slides behind the robot, in the S6 you'll have to flip the robot over to secure the pad. Not a big deal, but it's an extra step taking away points from usability. The S6 is compatible with the 360 app. I'll quickly highlight the essential features. The main interface has the live map, where you can see in real time where the robot is, coverage, and battery status. Users can select up to 10 map levels, but then you'll have to manually select the correct map if you move the robot to another level. It has no-go zones but no invisible wall. A no-go zone will block the robot's path from going into a rectangular or square area you set on the map. You can add multiple zones. In my opinion, it's an essential feature I think all robot vacuums must have. It doesn't have selective room cleaning, but you can specify an area or areas on the map to clean using the Area tab. You can draw multiple boxes or rectangles and also set the number of passes between 1 and 2. You can also schedule unlimited runs per day with the option to select a specific day, weekdays, or weekends and set a corresponding power level. However, it doesn't have the carpet boost feature. If you have carpets, leave it at the highest power setting. Lastly, there's the maintenance tab, providing you a heads up when to replace components like the filter and brush. One advantage having low airflow is the low noise levels. The 360 S6 ranges between 60 and 63.7 decibels, so it's possible to use this even in the evenings without annoying your neighbor. Next, we'll look at the runtime, and the S6 will run for up to 120 minutes at the lowest setting. But one caveat is the quiet setting is barely usable for vacuuming. You'll either have to use the standard or powerful modes to get decent cleaning results, so expect it to be close to 90 minutes. This shouldn't be a concern because the S6 has the recharge and resume feature. If the battery is low and did not finish cleaning the area, it will automatically resume cleaning at the exact location it left previously. To conclude this review, the 360 S6 is something to consider if the Roborock S5 Max or the Roomba 980 is too expensive. It has the same smart navigation as Roborock, but minus the ability to control the number of passes. This limits the S6 thoroughness. Surprisingly, even with a 1-pass run, it deep cleans carpet well. If you run it 3 times, it picks up embedded dirt close to a Roomba. I'd say the 360 S6 is a step down from other premium options like Roborock and Roomba because it isn't as thorough. But this robot is cheaper, so you'll have to consider these trade-offs before choosing one. If this video has been helpful to you, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Links are in the description for more information. Thanks again for watching and I'll see you in the next video.